Welcome to some new r/petty revenge stories, where people share stories of small victories over those that wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Cleaning People Revenge. One of my coworkers proudly told me how she had complained because the cleaning people were always bothering her and her team and she got them in trouble. By bothering her and her team, she meant that they would chat with people as they worked, as any other coworker does. They are always super nice, helpful and friendly, but I get the impression that she views them as lesser than those who work for the company because they are cleaning people and of specific ethnicity. Anyways, I was really upset, so I let the manager know that I personally hadn't had any negative experiences with them. The company they worked for solved the problem by telling them to not speak to this coworker or go into her office for any reason. So now she has to clean it herself and take out her own trash, and the crew is still talking to everyone else. It is glorious. The next story is called Joke's on You. I used to live near a very big and popular mall where above ground parking is scarce, but there's a ton of underground parking. I like to go early to get an above ground spot as the underground parking is super confusing. So I went early, got a good spot and went shopping. I was in the mall for a couple of hours and it got busy. I went outside and saw one of the park sharks pull away from the curb, the fire lane actually, and start to follow me to my car. A park shark is someone who needs an above ground spot so badly that they will wait for people to come out and then take their spot. It's weird, but whatever. The above ground spots are superior. So they follow me to my car. I put all my shopping in the trunk, get in, and of course I have to fiddle with my phone for like 2 seconds to get a good song. I put the car into reverse and then I hear honk. They honked at me to hurry up. I guess they didn't see the reverse lights. Anyways, I put the car in park, got out, locked it and went back into the mall. I waved at the park shark on the way by. Guess he didn't know I have no life and have all the time in the world to hang out at the mall. The third story is called Calling Out Problems. I have a coworker and she is the worst. Let's call her Regina. When I started at this place a year ago, Regina was to train me on an aspect of our job. I had to ask her to slow down and repeat herself several times because nothing made sense. Keep in mind, I've worked in this industry for 8 years longer than her. My boss was able to explain it clearly in 5 minutes and I've never had an issue. Shortly after starting, I noticed Regina would CC our boss on every email she sent to me. Regina would email me several times a day, calling me out for problems she noticed or CCing our boss. But I was always in the right and my boss would back me up. I emailed Regina, only Regina, and said I felt like she was trying to get me in trouble. I felt disrespected and I was wondering what I could do to improve. She replied, CCing our boss, telling me that if I felt that way it was my own doing. Got it. My entire team works from home, so our boss has to put people in charge of certain things so one person has control. One of my tasks is issuing documents for signature via the very popular system we all know. Basically, my team sends me an email that says, send these documents to X, Y and Z, and I get to it. Good news, Regina only copies our boss on super important documents, which I understand. The other day, Regina sends me a request and I failed to copy her when it was issued. Fixed in under a minute and did not cause any issue, but she still made a big deal about it over email and in our team meeting. The next request I get from her has, be sure to double check your work and all people are copied as detailed below. This set me off. The funny thing was, she didn't attach the documents I needed to send, nor tell me where the docs were located for me to get them myself. I reply asking for the docs and she sends them, stating, these are the final approved versions. Except they are wrong. First, we sent PDFs, not Word documents. She sent me Word documents. Second, the formatting was atrocious. Signature blocks cover 4 pages when they should be on 1. The vendor name and address were put into different tables, so it made no sense. So I sent it as is. Of course my boss is copied on this and actually has to sign this document and she is not happy with the state of this document. I replied to my boss with the email from Regina saying this document was approved by our boss, and with my other projects I didn't quality check like I normally do, which is not expected of me, but I do normally to prevent issues down the road. Boss replies to Regina and sees me laying into her that I am not to fix her mistakes as I have my own job to do. This was also reiterated in our next team meeting and I could see how angry my boss was. She and I had a one-on-one and she said she was not upset with me. The next request I got from Regina was incredibly detailed and had everything I needed in the right format. The last story is called Rules Are Rules. I was burnt out in my career and decided to try retirement at the ripe old age of 38. The first 2 months were fantastic. The next 2 I tried to work on projects and keep busy, but I had too much energy with no outlet. I decided to go back to the auto industry, but I wanted a position that was low pressure and that wouldn't destroy my career if I bailed out. The first dealerships saw my resume and just kind of laughed a little. They seemed suspicious that I was a spy or informant. I removed all the engineering jobs and education from my resume and applied to a luxury dealership. They were exceptionally happy to offer me a position with long hours and great pay according to them. I was a mid-level manager in the service department and had 2 other managers above me. This was pretty much what I needed. It really cleared out all the stress from my previous jobs and I started feeling like my old self. I really enjoyed aspects of that job and I know the service manager liked my performance. After 6 months, the assistant service manager, sensing a shift in the service manager force, started trying to get me fired. It blew up in his face in the most hilarious way possible. He was fired and I was moved to assistant manager, which bumped my pay up to 25% of my previous job. Yay! I had a company toll pass that I used when I had to drive a customer's vehicle. We were very cautious about them paying tolls during road tests, etc. I kept this in my desk and occasionally loaned it out to the drivers who delivered customer vehicles. They were supposed to ask, but on weekends it seemed to be a free-for-all. They were always good about returning it though. One Monday I went to check a problem customer vehicle. I saw I had left my toll pass inside, so I drove it a bit and parked it. I went to put the toll pass in my desk and there was already one in there. My mind started running through all the scenarios and it hit me. I had driven this customer's vehicles a few days earlier and they must have left their toll pass in the car. I had grabbed theirs and put it in my desk on Friday. Suddenly, I remembered the delivery guys. I called them and they confirmed that they had used it all day Saturday. I called the toll company and there were approximately $35 in charges to the toll pass. I had the option to pay directly with my credit card or add it to our company account. I chose the latter. Okay, long-winded backstory is complete. On with the petty revenge. I went to the office department and explained the situation to an older lady, Shirley, with a reputation of being mean. I told her I needed them to either contact the toll company or give me the password so I could add those charges. While I was there, she asked me to check her Plymouth PT Cruiser since it was overheating. She told me she would handle the toll situation and keep it on the DL so the customer didn't get even angrier. We took one look at her car and realized the repairs were more than the car was worth. It needed a radiator, fan, tires, suspension work, AC repair, a full tune-up and service as well as an alignment. I thought since she was doing me a favor, although a small one, I would pull some strings. I called around to some friends and had some other employees do the same. By lunchtime we had 4 new takeoff tires. When a customer complains about tires, you often have to give them new ones and then you are left with tires that have a few miles on them that you can't sell. We also had a used radiator and fan, used AC compressor, etc. All free of charge from various friends and dealerships nearby. 2 of the hourly wage employees agreed to do the work when they didn't have anything to do and finish it up after work in exchange for some pizza. The total cost for her repairs was going to be about $200. I called and told her we had sourced some used and free parts so her bill would only be $200. She was overjoyed at the news, but then told me she had informed management about the toll pass fiasco. Rules are rules, you can't just put charges on the company toll account. Before I even had the chance to reply, my next self starts chirping. I was called into a meeting with my boss and his boss. Immediately I met with accusations of using the customer's vehicle to take a weekend trip. I explained the situation and after a few minutes of being told that we have to be more careful, they laughed it off and said they would have the office fix it as well as get another toll pass for the delivery department. Problem solved. I walked out the door, called the guys who were doing the free work and told them to stop immediately. I had them put their old tires back on and return the car to the condition it was when we got it. Fortunately, they had only changed 2 tires and drained the rusty water from her radiator. I went to the service advisor and had them write an estimate ticket for the work at full price with the employee discount. No used parts, no free parts and definitely no free labor. I walked into the office and Shirley came waddling over, saying how grateful she was that we could get her car fixed for cheap. She apologized for having to tell management and repeated her rules are rules line. I just smiled and said, I completely understand. Top management is going to contact you and have you do precisely what I asked you earlier. Oh, by the way, we can't do that free work on your car. It turns out that it's a liability, and as you know, rules are rules. I then slid the price estimate ticket over to her and walked away. I returned the Goodwill parts to the other dealers and bought some pizza for the guys who tried to help. She actually paid the full price for the repairs and talked so much trash about me right up to the day she was fired for refusing to do some office tasks I needed done. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.